All right. I want to further discuss this because sometimes it may seem confusing. Okay, so you have to pay special attention here. So, firstly, is that you have to make sure why you need this. Okay, because this form, let me draw it down for you. Oh my gosh, why it's not working? Okay, yeah. So why do you need this form? Because it's a foreign-owned U.S. corporation. Okay, so that means, for example, if you say you are holding, you're a foreigner, you hold a U.S. say disregard entity. Okay, disregard. We sometimes use like DE, disregard entity, like a DELC, right? But it's foreign-owned. And for disregard entity, for the tax purpose, it's disregarded. So basically, for the tax purpose, they don't treat this as a company. Okay? So if that is the case, why do you need this form? Because it's not treated as a corporation. It's like disregard. So for tax purpose, it's like just going to directly to you, to the owner. But why do you need this? Okay? That is because of the another legislation, right? Called this. It's not legislation, but rather some regulation. Okay, 6038A. Because of this, okay, that's just the code, and basically under that, this is like some sort of the base of why IRS can ask you to do that. Okay, it's because of this. So even though it's a disregard entity, it's still going to treat you as a U.S. corporation, a U.S. entity. Okay, so basically give you a form of U.S. entity. That means here, okay, because this can be a little bit confusing. And countries under whose law the reporting corporation files an income tax return as a resident. You might think, whoa, as a resident? Okay, here's the thing. What about, the owner is a foreigner, so the owner is not a resident of the United States. So they may intend, say Singapore or China or Japan. Let me just fill this information here. But if you look at that, it's countries under whose law the reporting corporation files an income tax. Okay? As I said, it's like pro forma 1120. So basically, it's kind of like income tax to treat you as a U.S. entity. Okay? So that means, even though it's like a foreign-owned U.S. disregard entity, still under this 6038A, is treated as U.S. entity. That means they're going to report based on this. Okay? So that's the reason previously I said that most of the time it should be the United States. And you can say U.S. Okay, there's another thing. You can think, hey, U.S. or USA or United States. Okay? You can say like three things. My recommendation is using United States. Don't use abbreviation to fill it here. And then, say for example, this is like Singapore or China or whatever. Okay? Then principal country where the business is conducted, just fill in the actual business that you're conducting in a certain country. For example, the whole team is never been to US. And it's like fully operating in another country. You feel that. But here, you are filing a U.S. entity. So this should be the United States. Okay? My recommendation is to fill the United States, no U.S. or USA. Just, avoid a little bit confusion. United States, that's pretty straightforward. Okay? USA is United States of America. It's, it can pass, okay? But I think United States is a safer choice. Right?